here tonight. This is not a time when we would have wanted to be together. But as I heard that Deborah Lipstadt shared on an interview on national news just a few moments ago, when the last question of the interviewer was, "What does the Jewish community need right now?" her response was, "Well, we just need to be together." And that seems to be certainly some sort of balm during an immensely difficult time. We are here tonight truly united in horror and sadness by the sickening anti-Semitic murderous shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. Surely our hearts break for those who have been murdered and wounded, and so too our hearts break for all of their loved ones. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the Pittsburgh Jewish community, their neighbors, and all of the first responders and police who were there. And we join together with all of Am Yisrael, along with all people of goodwill, in our lament that such senseless, hate-driven violence and loss of innocent human life have breached the walls of our most sacred spaces at our most sacred time. Which is exactly why tonight is so very important. There is no greater statement of defiance against the forces that would call for the murder of our people, those who worship darkness and destruction, who fuel the flames of hatred, than for us to come here together in a sanctuary of a synagogue to create just that, a sanctuary of comfort and consolation, of healing and of hope, of repurposing and recommitment. Tonight is about mourning those who are dead, praying for healing for those who are in need of it, and recommitting ourselves to creating a world of peace and love. But make no mistake, we are here tonight because the Pittsburgh shooting was likely the deadliest attack on Jews in American history. The murderer was reportedly obsessed with Jews, posting virulently anti-Semitic sentiments on his website frequented by extremists. A particular focus was his venom was HIAS, the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. This worthy organization, founded in 1881, formerly assisted Jews, including many of our own relatives and other Jews fleeing persecution or seeking a new life to resettle in America. And HIAS currently works with our government to resettle recognized refugees of all faiths and backgrounds. In his feverish fantasies, however, this killer believed Jews were flooding the U.S. with, quote, invaders coming to murder Americans. We must remember that words matter. What we say, it matters. When anyone, from the highest to the lowest in the land, whether from among us or outside of us, speaks the language of bigotry and hate towards any group of people, violence always follows. I was reminded today of the words that the prophet Hosea declared so long ago. Those who sow the wind will reap the whirlwind. So what can our response be as a community of Jews and those who love them? We might consider the words that the residents of the Warsaw Ghetto inscribed on its entrance gate. Translated from the Yiddish, it said, "Jews, you are forbidden to despair." Ours is a tradition that under all circumstances comes to teach us that even amidst the deepest darkness, we choose life over death, blessing over curse, every time, always. This does not mean that we take some Pollyanna-esque view of the world, but rather we look at it fully and face it for all of its good and all of its bad, head on. This, I think, is what Abraham Joshua Heschel was talking about when he wrote, "An individual dies when they cease to be surprised. When I see an act of evil, I am not accommodated. I don't accommodate myself to the violence that goes on everywhere. I'm still surprised. That's why I'm against it, why I can hope against it. We must learn how to be surprised still, not just to accommodate ourselves." Friends, we cannot allow ourselves to be anesthetized to this darkness. And yet, at the same time, we cannot permit ourselves to lose hope that we might yet bring light, even if we don't know if all of our efforts will be successful. But here's what I can tell you. Each and every time we join together as a community in song and prayer, each and every time we give tzedakah, each and every time we smile at our fellow human being, show kindness to our neighbor, show love to the stranger, each and every time we defy the darkness, we make a profound statement that as individuals and as a people, we will not let meaningless win. That we will not let fear and hate have the last word, because hope and goodness have that spot reserved. To be sure, tonight we are here to grieve together and to pray together, that the souls of the murdered be sheltered in the eternal presence of God, that those who mourn find comfort, that the wounded be healed, and that justice be served swiftly and fully. But so too are we here to reaffirm our commitment to bring light where there is darkness, striving yet to build our world out of love. The highest callings of our faith beckon us to do nothing less. Let us raise our voices together in song. Let us weep together. Let us be angry together. Let us comfort one another and aspire to light, aspire to blessing, aspire to life. We begin our service again with the singing of Oziv Zimrat Yah. The words are at the top of the page.
Oziv Zimrat Yah.
Let's join together in the English. We stand in grief with the devastated families in our nation, community. We weep over the incomprehensible loss of life. We cry out with shock, confusion, and pain. We mourn together over this senseless act of violence and destruction.
Adonai roi lo exalt in notte arbitseini Ganecheni b'magletzedek, Ganecheni b'magletzedek, Leman Shemo. Gam Kile gates are mad, lo virabla, ki hatahimadi, chivteva, umishantecha, himayena, Naked, so frei, die Shanta, Hashem en Roshi, Kosi, Revaya. Yitefuni kol yemei chayai, kol yemei chayai, v'shavti b'beit Adonai le'orech yamin. Adonai roi lo exalt, Adonai roi lo exalt.
The Hebrew words that Cantor Goldstein has just sung are the words of the 23rd Psalm, a source of comfort to so many over the ages. Let's join together in the English at the bottom of the page. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You make me lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside still waters. You restore my soul. You guide me in paths of righteousness for your name's sake. Yes, even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. With rod and staff you comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the eternal God forever. Author of life, man has turned violent, cutting down innocence, crushing lives, upending dreams, attacking hope with hatred. Source and Creator, grant a perfect rest under your tabernacle of peace to the victims of murder in Pittsburgh, the Tree of Life Synagogue. whose lives were cut off by violence, an act of witless aggression and calculated anti-Semitism. Remember the survivors of this horror and the victims of any violence, suffering, or despair. Grant them shelter and solace, comfort and consolation, blessing and renewal. Grant them endurance to survive, strength to rebuild, faith to mourn, courage to heal, and devotion to each other. Heavenly guide, hand of love and shelter, put an end to anger and hatred, bigotry and fear, and lead us to a time when no one suffers at the hand of another. For the sake of our people, and for the sake of your holy name, grant the Jewish people your protection, your wholeness and healing, and your peace. In Jewish tradition, we do not say mourner's Kaddish until the dead are buried, because we are still just a day after the horrors of this event on Shabbat yesterday. The 11 murdered are not yet buried. Their funerals have not yet happened. And so we honor Jewish tradition and will not say Kaddish for them. But we felt it important to name them, to know them, to honor them, to hear their names, and to remember them. And so it is that we say the names of those who died, those murdered callously in cold blood. We remember Joyce Feinberg, 75 years old, who lived in Oakland. We remember Richard Godfried, 65 years old, who lived in Ross. We remember Rose Mallinger, 97 years old, who lived in Squirrel Hill. We remember Jerry Rabinowitz, 66 years old, who lived in Edgewood. We remember brothers Cecil Rosenthal and David Rosenthal, who lived in Squirrel Hill. We remembered husband and wife Sylvan Simon and Bernice Simon, who lived in Wilkinsburg, 84 and 86 years old, respectively. We remember Daniel Stein, 71 years old, of Squirrel Hill. We remember Melvin Wax, 88 years old, of Squirrel Hill. And we remember Irving Younger, 69 years old, of Mount Washington. May the memories of the righteous, may their beautiful names be a blessing. Let's join together. Be with us, God, in this time of sorrow and fear. Help us, God, to offer comfort to those whose hearts are shattered. Rekindle hope and trust and courage within us and them. Help us, God, to sustain our belief in the promise that even in the darkest times, even when we feel most discouraged, there is reason to trust that love is never extinguished and that light and spirit will prevail. Help us, God, to rededicate ourselves to building a world that is safer for our children. Help us, God, to rededicate ourselves to building a world that is safer for all people. During these difficult days and nights, God, bring comfort and peace and hope and light to broken hearts and a broken world. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on us and on all Israel and on all the world. Together we say, Amen.
O say shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל שתבל ואמרו Shalom Imromav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Derel Ve'imru
We invite you to turn the page. Adonai God, you abide, though all things change. We are anxious and fearful, and we turn our hearts to you, looking to you, leaning on you for your strength. It is written, blessed is the one whose strength is in you. Bless us now with faith and courage. Help us to feel that you are with us, steadying and sustaining us with the assurance that we are loved. Be with us and bring us hope, that in the days to come our aspirations may be fulfilled for the good and the good of those we love. Banish our fears with the sense that you are always present to uphold and sustain us. As it is written, have no fear, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with the power of my righteousness. Amen. We turn now to Mishaberach Lecholim, a prayer for healing and wholeness. Mishaberach Avotenu Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh Tacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, bless those in need of healing and wholeness. Let's read together. The 4 police officers and 2 congregants wounded, the families and friends and neighbors of those murdered and wounded, congregants and community members of the Tree of Life Synagogue, the Jewish community in Pittsburgh, the Jewish community in the United States, and all the Jewish people and those who love them. Anyone who suffers new wounds or whose wounds have been ripped open again as a result of this terror.
And let us say,
Let's take just a few moments now for our own silent reflection, meditations, and remembrances.
Strange is our situation here upon earth. Each of us comes for a short visit, not knowing why, yet sometimes seeming divine purpose. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing we do know, that we are here for the sake of each other. Above all, for those upon whose smile and well-being our own happiness depends, and also for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of sympathy. Many times a day I realize how much my own outer and inner life is built upon the labors of others, both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received and am still receiving. Join me. We might never be able to choose all the circumstances that occur in our lifetime, but
we always have the choice about how will we react to them
and what we will do with them.
It is
sometimes only through adversity that we are forced to choose the path. Elohenu velohei avotenu ve'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, hate has been visited upon our community. Our sacred space has been violated. We feel vulnerable, afraid, angry, and broken. God and God of our ancestors, we pray this to you. May strength come from our vulnerability, so we can support one another and receive the support of others with gratitude and humility. May compassion come from our fear, so we do not act from that fear. We can pursue justice, not revenge, peace, not violence. May wisdom come from our anger, so we are able to see that an attack against us is an attack on us all. And we are able to join in common cause with those who are similarly oppressed and targeted. And may healing come from our brokenness, so we are able to rise from this challenge with renewed life, commitment, and connection. God and God of our ancestors, in light of this act of violence and hatred, we maintain our commitment to be a remnant of Israel, continually upholding the teachings and traditions of your covenant, pursuing righteousness and compassion, justice and mercy, peace and understanding, love and friendship. May you frustrate those who seek to do harm and uphold those who seek to do good. The shelter of your peace spread over us and over all who dwell on this earth. Say together,
Amen.
Amen. As one people, we proclaim the watchword of our faith, our creed of God's oneness. Join us in Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Kevo Malchuto Le'olam.
So you shall love what is holy with all your courage, with all your passion, with all of your strength. Let the words that have come down shine in our words and our actions. We must teach our children to know and to understand them. We must speak about what is good and holy within our homes, when we are working, when we are at play, when we lie down, and when we get up. Let the work of your hands speak them. Let your eyes shine and see with their knowledge. Let them run in your blood and glow from your doors and your windows. We should love ourselves, for we are of God. We should love our neighbors as ourselves. We should love the stranger, for we were once strangers in the land of Egypt and have been strangers in all the lands of the world ever since. Let's continue together. Let love fill our hearts with its clear, precious water, for all living with whom we share the water of life.
Heaven and earth observe how we cherish our spoil of the world.
Watch whether we choose life or choose death. We must choose life so that we and our children's children may live.
We must love the source of being and the power of life. Be quiet and listen to the still small voice within that speaks in love. Open to it, hear it, heed it, and work for life. Let us remember and strive to be good. Let us remember and find what is holy within and without.
Let's continue together at the top of the next page. When evil darkens our world, let us be the bearers of light. When fists are clenched in self-righteous rage, let our hands be open for the sake of peace. When injustice slams doors on the ill, the poor, the old, and the stranger, let us pry the doors open. Where shelter is lacking, let us be builders. Where food and clothing are needed, let us be providers. Where knowledge is denied,
let us be champions of learning. When dissent is stifled, let our voices speak truth to power. When the earth and its creatures are threatened, let us be their guardians. When bias, greed, and bigotry erode our country's values, let us proclaim liberty throughout the land. In the places where no one acts like a human being, let us bring courage, let us bring compassion, let us bring humanity. We will soon move to conclude our gathering this evening. We are so grateful to you for being with us in fellowship and in community in this space. We are so touched. The entirety of the Glencoe Police Department, or most of it, joined us here on our grounds outside. You'll notice them when they leave. It is wonderful to have partners in our community, those who look out for us, not only because it's their job, but because they care. That's a gift. We also want to welcome you, Congressman Brad Schneider. We thank you for being with us today. It means a lot for you to join us. would invite everybody at the conclusion of our ceremony to join us in Rebecca K. Crown Hall, right outside that door and around the wall, for us to break bread together in fellowship and in community, for us to join after this service. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., Rabbi Wendy Geffen will be joined by Kathy Livingston from Family Services of Glencoe. The conversation is called Parenting in Anxious Times. How do we talk to our kids and calm ourselves? Tomorrow, 10 a.m., that'll be right here, all in the FEC, which is on the other side of the building and downstairs. Everybody is welcome to join us. We also learned this afternoon, right prior to our service, that the Jewish United Fund of Metropolitan Chicago is organizing a community gathering at the Loop Synagogue. That will be this Thursday. I believe it's the 1st at 12 p.m. JUF's gathering, Thursday, 12 p.m. I'd invite everybody to stand together as we offer our closing song, Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la la la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la la la. I will build this world from love, la la la. You will build this world from love, la la la. And if we build this world from love, la la la. God will build this world from love, la la la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la la la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, ya la la la.